Morning to all of you. It's wonderful to be with all of you here. As you can see, I am at the beach here in Manzanillo, and the waves are really crashing, as you'll see and hear. And I was realizing a moment ago that everything in the universe, like these waves, conspire to the experience of yes. Yes, the deep, powerful yes of our souls that affirm reality. So I thought what I would ask you to do, every time you hear one of these waves crash against the shore, like that, let that be your yes. See if you can receive that sound as the yes of your soul. So these don't become distractions, they become affirmations. The waves, the sound, whatever it is that happens. As I said, everything in the universe conspires to the experience of yes, except one thing. And that one thing is the assertion of your self-identity. The assertion of your separate self-identity. Unlike these waves, the self-identity is meant to block you from that experience, to limit you, to hold you separate from that holy, resounding yes. So I want to share a lesson this morning that I think is going to help us to see more clearly the limitations of that self-assertion, but then show us how we can return to that state of perfect peace. The perfect peace that comes, from the full realization of who we really are, the real within us. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen. And as you can see, this is called a state of temporary insanity. A state of temporary insanity. So once again, every time you hear a wave, let that be your yes as you listen to this lesson. Your self-assertion is the denial of your true reality. You asserting yourself as split and separate from reality is your denial of your true reality. I don't think we can put it any more simple or clear than that. There's no possibility that this is not true, and the demonstration of your limitedness is what proves it. Every time you experience yourself as being limited in any way, any regard whatsoever, is the acknowledgement of your self-identity, your split reality, and your powerlessness. As you assert the concepts you have accepted about yourself based upon the unreality of separation, sickness, and death, you seem to become that which you claim. You seem to become that which you claim, which would be a body, a personality, an identity, separate from all other identities. But if what you claim is not your true identity or reality, it has no effect. And this is the key to the experience that we talk about here every day. So know the difference between that which has true effect and that which has no effect. The split mind, the personality, the self-assertion of the ego has no true lasting effect, but the reality that is forever real within you, your soul, your identity that is one with God, this not only has true and lasting effect, but eternal effect, whether you're aware of that effect or not. That is the only level of choice that you have, whether you want to be aware of reality or deny reality. The split mind or the self-assertion of the ego is nothing more than the denial of that which could never be fully denied, because it's the only thing that is wholly real. Your true reality, your soul, the reality that is known within God, as opposed to the split idea of the body, the personality, or anything else. So once again, every time you hear that wave, just say yes, yes. Let that be the assertion of your will. So let me back up a little bit. If what you claim is not your true identity or your reality, then it has no effect. You cannot become something you are not. You cannot become something you are not. But this is what you've attempted to do, and all I'm telling you is that you failed. You failed in your attempt to become something that you are not. In fact, you never even came close to success because of that which you sought was impossible to gain. That which you sought was impossible. In other words, you fell into a state of temporary insanity, and you should be grateful that it was temporary instead of permanent. It's impossible for you to be permanently insane. That's good news, because that would mean that the assertion of your self-identity has power. Once again, the idea of permanent insanity would mean that the self-assertion of your identity has true power. But it is in reality the definition of powerlessness. The instant you release the separate or the limited self that you've claimed until now, that will be the same instant that you're filled with a light that is so bright and so strong that it may even at first seem to burn. And indeed, this is so. You're really only burning away that which has never been true. And losing something that has never been true is not a loss. This is the greatest trick of the ego, as we talked about yesterday, is the idea that losing something requires, or that you, maybe it's easier to turn it around and say to gain everything requires a loss. This is what the ego proclaims. To gain and receive everything means you have to lose something. But see, this is the insanity that we're talking about. Gaining everything does not require any loss. It is only a gain. So the fire you are feeling is there to burn away the armor that you use to block the radiance of heaven's light. To block the radiance of heaven's light. So let it penetrate and let it do for you what you cannot do for yourself. You've wandered into a labyrinth that you cannot escape on your own. But there is one that knows the path to freedom. Surrender to that one and you will be guided perfectly. Surrender to that one and you will be guided perfectly. Refuse the help that has always been offered and you will dream an even deeper hell. It's time to stop refusing the help that is being given to us every moment. And every time we refuse that help, it's like we go deeper into the dream, deeper into this insane experience that seems so real to us. But this is not what you want, but it is what you've claimed by asserting an unreal reality. But the moment of escape has come and your true self awaits you at the exit point, or the exit of this pointless labyrinth that you have claimed as your home. Once again, the moment of escape has come, and your true self, who you really are, waits for you at the exit of this pointless labyrinth that you have claimed as your home. So once again, everything in this universe, the waves, the wind, the sound of each other's voice, asserts the reality and the yes of this awakened self. The only thing that we need to do to be in the full experience of that is to say yes. This is the only thing I want. This is my only reality. To let go of everything else that seems to proclaim another possibility, something other than the real, and to claim only that. So now that we've got a head start, I'm going to turn it over to Vicky. If Vicky's there, I haven't checked. And
right here.
Beautiful. I'm going to mute myself so you can not have to keep hearing the waves of yes, and then we can hear you clearly. So welcome, Vicky.
Oh, thank you, Brother James, and thank you for that setup. And I'm so glad. I'm going to be short so we can hear Darla and Alden. But you spoke exactly to my experience. And what I understand as I read that post that you just read, selfish assertion is every judgment we make and then hold on to. That's all self-assertion is. I'm right about this. You're right about that. When we hold to a judgment, that's all self-assertion is. Surrendering the judgment, I don't know, but I love you. I don't know. Really, really knowing that I don't know, but there is one with me that does know. God really is in charge. There is a Holy Spirit. There is a plan of grace that is just like the waves come naturally. That wave of grace that we live in is natural. And the only thing that dams it up are our judgments. And I saw that experience very clearly this last week or two. Going through a trauma, I've been not so stable, wobbly. And by the grace of God, I woke up stable this morning and I saw my judgment that someone should do something or something they weren't doing was what was destabilizing me literally and holding me in hell, literally. And I don't know, by the grace of God, it must have let go. And I realized God's in charge, truly. I'm only here to love everyone, truly. I don't have the foggiest idea what anyone should say or do. So I'll just think everybody's right. They're all being led and I'm being led, and the light goes before us and corrects the crooked places in the road. And I woke up free. Now, that's an amazing experience because I have been unstable for a month now, which is a long time. I usually take to my bed, you know this, in a day or two, and I'm okay. But this one was a little more. With the other thing that happened this morning, and it's what Scott's chant and Darla, it was so beautiful. The joining of two, not just two voices, two energies that say yes, is like a huge orchestration of heaven, isn't it? And we just melt into it. Anything we've been thinking just kind of falls away and we become part of the experience. Love becomes our experience. This morning, a very dear friend of mine, and I haven't had time to talk to most anyone because I've been on this tutu duty from early morning to late at night. But I was up early, 5 o'clock. So my dearest sister called me, Catherine, and she said, Vicki, I woke up with an experience of gentleness. And I'm telling you, as soon as she said it, I received it. Whoops, I'm going to go back in this chair. I received it because now this is someone that's usually very right, very analytical and a lot of talking and thinking. And I said, I received it because you're experiencing it. You're not giving me a word of gentleness. Gentleness is embodied in your everything, in your breath, in your consciousness. That's what it means. Give Christ peace. My peace I give to you. Peace that passeth understanding. That's truly what we give to one another when we are in that state, when we are in the realization of that. And as she said, she had been woken up with this experience of gentleness and true acceptance of letting everything just be what it was. It filled me, hopefully the way we help each other every day here, to really come into the experience of that peace, because that peace trusts that grace of the Holy Spirit's plan and light to step forward as we step back and lead us through whatever seeming obstacles or the steps that we seem to walk upon here on earth. So those are the two things I wanted to say. And I thank you very much. I love you all very much. I thank you all for the peace and the love and the joy that you give by your embodiment of it every single day. It has been the single thing that has stabilized me this very day and all this month. I was wobbly and sometimes stable, but today I woke up free and accepting everybody's ideas. Okay, everybody do whatever. I trust it. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Wow, I love that. You know, from what you shared, it helps me to realize that what we do here every day is nothing more than a stabilization portal. This is a portal where we come together to stabilize ourselves, and in doing so, to stabilize the whole. I listen to you, and it helps me to just relax into a less wobbly place within me. Because we all have that wobbly place where sometimes we're spot on, stabilized, other times the wind moves us in one direction or another. But we come together here every day just to be rooted and stabilized in and by the truth that's expressed through you, that's expressed through Darla or Alden or anyone else. We feel and know that truth. It stabilizes us in the one. The wind that blows us back and forth is the two, or the 2 trillion, or however many we want to imagine, but to be stabilized in the one. This is why we're here. So we're going to invite Darla and Alden into this portal, this stabilizing portal, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to share.
All right, thank you, James and Vicky. Beautiful beginning to this day. And we're here in the Namaste experience, and we're receiving.
You're not in the speaker view.
Can you see us, James? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, everything's
But
good.
we can't see you.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know why it
um,
does that.
They're fine. They're fine. Just let them go.
So what James and Vicky have already begun is the idea of saying yes. And it's that yes to what could be a disruption, like illness or a wave. And oh, I can't meditate. There's this noise happening. The rooster is crowing, or all these things can go, oh, how can I get rid of that? Oh, I don't feel well today. How can I get rid of that? And we're always in resistance. That's what life on planet Earth is total resistance. And it was nice to hear what a true communication is, like Vicky's Catherine saying gentleness, and a wave of light passes from Catherine to Vicky. That's the kind of communication we're looking for, which is a yes to everything, even illness. Like, how can I take a moment of that kind of massive disruption and turn it into a yes? Like, oh, could you remain the captain of your ship, no matter what's happening to you. And if you're feeling some kind of major disruption, it's as the captain, your job is not to find resistance in yourself to what's happening, but to be able to say yes. Like, where am I? What is my navigator doing to me today? Where is he taking me? Oh, I've got the wrong navigator. He's taking me into fear, pain, and misery. Oh, I'm going to fire that guy and choose the spirit, universal mind of the Holy Spirit, and he's going to be my guide. It doesn't matter what you call it, but to choose the true self as your guide. And that makes everything that happens to you, from a wave to a rooster to cancer, where's the yes? Where can I say, oh, I've got it, because that's what improvisation is. We were talking about a month ago. It's yes, and like, we're going to shift it to the universal mind of the Holy Spirit as our guide. I'm the captain of this ship. I have that power given me through my creation as a creation of God. He transfers that total power to me to make that decision. So I can choose to move from the separate, miserable identity James was talking about to a true identity that how do you know it? You share it, like Catherine and Vicky shared it this morning. it's a shareable identity. And that does not lead to sickness, pain, and death.
Mhm.
And this is a total commitment, as James often talks about, because, and that's where the resistance comes in. Oh, I want my cancer fixed so I can get back to my life. That's not a yes. The lesson that you're being taught is a change of life to a totally different guide. You're as the director of this dream that's happening, you're the director. You can choose that other guide, that other universal mind that is the gift of God to all of us. And then power comes into a totally different way. And it's such a beautiful thing to share this mind. As Vicky was pointing out, Scott and Darla singing as a unified mind. There's a power in that that's far more than a power of a single voice, because it's joined, it's shared. They're sharing the melody. And that's an amazing teaching right there. How do we share our existence and then communicate that to others who can feel it? That's how we know that we're in the mind of the universal inspiration. It's shareable, and negativity and darkness is not shareable. It's very simple. And that's all we could ever extend to our brothers. You have a choice. You can choose joy or pain. And what a great message we have to give each other. So thanks, everyone. And Darla has a few words to say.
Yeah, see. Thank you, James. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Alden. That was lovely. Universal inspiration. Isn't that a nice way to speak of our creator, our guides? Universal inspiration. That's a good one. I'm always thinking about the art of universal language, where we get better at communicating to broader parts of ourselves, instead of just our jargon that we're so used to. So it's nice just hearing new expansive ways to express, like James has been using reality and the capital R, and it's just a nice way to look at creation and your creator and the truth in you. So what's coming in my mind right now is one of the lines James read, which I'm gonna I won't have it just like it is, but the fire that you feel is just burning away the armor. Ravi, I thought of you and I had our little discussion yesterday with things that seem to go on in the body and things that are passing through. That fire you feel is only burning away the armor that you use to defend something to defend against the radiance, right, James, of the light, the radiance of the light that you are. So that fire is okay, isn't it? When we feel those fires in whatever way going through this body form, any way you look at it, it's going through the body form, right? Whether it's in your consciousness or in this thing, it's all body identity. And that's a good thing, right? We're going to be here for a moment. Don't we want to burn away everything that would be in the way of that pure consciousness that we are and that we share? So that's a beautiful thought. And Ravi and I were talking about, even when something's going through the body, don't label it, right? Because you're saying I am that, right? I have a cold, or I'm going through. No, don't, just let it pass through. Don't name it. Don't let it pass through. I call it, at back home, right? Christine and Elise, Amrit, we call it transformation, right? And I'm just going through transformation. We call it all transformation because that's the truth of it. What everyone said today reminded me of a little quote I read today. It said something to the effect of, don't ask God in a much immature way, don't ask God in your prayers to just rip away your problems. Ask for the strength, right? And the wisdom. I mean, like Alden was saying, if you're in a body form and you're here on this deep planet, you're going to go through stuff. I mean, isn't that how we learn forgiveness and how we come to that singularity and know everyone is us and we stop judging? And yeah, that's how we become brighter in a way, that's how we get rid of all the things we made up that block us from the truth and the extension of ourself and our brother. So yeah, it says something to that effect. Don't ask him to just take away all your problems. what we ask for is what's real and true, right? I need wisdom in this moment. I need strength in this moment. And those are real qualities. So you'll be given that. And the characteristics of all of us, of teachers of God, are spiritual values, aren't they? Joy, and these are things we can put on that blank canvas when we've let go of what's valueless, right? Then we can place on there, we can be more conscious of joy. And Vicky spoke of open-mindedness, which is non-judgment, and that's the last one we get. And trust is the bedrock of them all. But there's just a little thing I read today. After all those are mentioned, those spiritual values that we can just focus on ourselves and put on that blank canvas when we've let go of what isn't real. After that, it says what James has been saying all week, and back to the singularity. You may have noticed that the list of attributes of God's teachers does not include things that are the child of God's inheritance, right? There are things that aren't even included on that you don't need to strive for, and don't need you can't fake it till you make it on those anything. Terms like, what would that be? Anyone want to throw one out that's just who you are? It's not something you can. Worthiness is a good one. This says that would go with maybe sinlessness, right? So it says terms like love. That's just what you are. That's your inheritance, right? We spoke of our inheritance last night, Robbie. Love, sinlessness. One more, anybody? Innocence, yeah. Perfection, maybe that goes with perfection. Knowledge, yeah. And eternal truth. So love, sinlessness, perfection, knowledge, and eternal truth do not appear in this context. They're not something you can strive at, or I don't even want to say strive. We just focus on things like joy, open-mindedness. We grow. That's part of our spiritual growth. But these things just are our inheritance. So that's what, when we're all talking non-duality, we don't have to talk. We talk about love a lot right here. That's just reminding you who you are, who you already are. So we don't work at love, right? So thank you. Yes. And I love you all very much. We just have two more sessions with you. We're here through Sunday, but just tomorrow. And but I just want to say it today in case someone's not here tomorrow, how much we love you, and we really hope to be back. And we will be back, right? We have power of mind. And yeah, it's a worthy dream, and it's our inheritance, right? To be with you all forever. And so yes, love you so very much, and thank you for all your grace and all your love.
Yes,
All righty,
absolutely.
James.
We love you very much.
Thanks, James. Thanks for 3 minutes in. Thank you.
You know, I didn't realize that the time of your departure was so fast in coming. We have just been so blessed by your presence there for 2 months. And of course, you'll be able to not only come and visit again, but Zoom in with us whenever you want. And bring some of the others from the association there in Wisconsin. We would love to see them as well. So thank you. So tomorrow, I would love if you guys just kind of anchored the session. I'll let you guys just take it away. I would love that. And I just want to say one more thing about the power of yes, letting everything that happens to us, every breath, every sound, to be the expression of that powerful yes, reminding us who we really are. Like these waves, we were talking before about every wave is the yes. And these waves, when they hit, this balcony shakes. There's like a little tremor in this balcony every time a big wave hits. And it reminds me that whenever the truth hits within me, there's a tremor in my soul that reminds me of who I really am and why we come here. So once again, this is a stabilization portal. These sessions give us the chance to stabilize in the yes, right at the beginning of the day or the middle of the day, wherever you are. Stabilize there so that we can be pulled further away from the influence of that egoic dream of separation, the split mind, and just keep coming back again and again, breath by breath, yes by yes, to the reality of my soul. So keep coming back. These stabilization portals are just such a beautiful way for us to just keep reminding each other that we are home, that we are holy, and that we are one. So here's what we're going to do to close. I'm just going to invite you guys just to listen to that sound for a few more seconds and feel the power of that yes that reverberates within you. And so it is. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. We'll see all Darla and Alden tomorrow. I would love to have them lead the session. And we're going to be like this little guy down here and just go run. See him? We're going to go run the beach. Bye, everybody. Namaste.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Darla.
Love you all.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye now.
I love you all.